everyone, welcome back to the attic. Nicole here. We have just finished our second year with the Glowforge, so I want to answer the question that's on everyone's mind. Do we still like it? But before we get to that, I do want to point out that we are not in any way, shape, or form sponsored by Glowforge. They did not pay us to make this video. This is my honest opinion about our machine after 2 full years of being in use. With that in mind, I will say they have a referral program that's open to every single person that buys one of these machines. If you use our code below, you get $500 off of a Pro model and $250 off of a Plus model. And then we get a cut of that as well. In the last video, I discussed the pros and cons of this machine after 1 year of use. Those pros and cons are still very valid to this day. For our second year in review, I want to do something a little bit differently. I want to go over the 5 most common questions that we get in any of our comment sections about this machine. So let's get right into it. Question number 1. How is it holding up? I get this question a lot when people are looking up the potential maintenance down the road for the machine. I will say in the 2 years of owning our Glowforge, I have only made one necessary repair to the machine, and it was on a very common issue. The black ribbon cable that connects the camera in the lid to the brains of the machine. And it's a worry point that happens whenever you open the lid. Over time, it just starts to break down. It's a very specifically made thin cable that they do sell in their spare parts department on Glowforge website. When I went to turn my machine on, it just wouldn't focus, so I couldn't load anything on, I couldn't send a print through because the camera wasn't working. So I sent a message to Glowforge's support team and found out that it was in fact the black ribbon cable that finally failed, so I ordered 2 of them.
Well, that's all fine and good, but we didn't get an error code about anything. The machine just stopped working. It wasn't able to focus, it would just kind of get stuck in this loop and then nothing would happen. We had to go and Google this issue that we were having rather than a specific code that you can reference and then say, hey, it's probably this. I know they kind of want to be like Apple, but even a Mac gives you error codes. Glowforge doesn't. It's a little bit frustrating, especially as a technical person when I don't know anything that's happening with my machine.
Question number 2. How often do you clean it? I would say I clean my machine quite often because of the fact that I record video through the glass top for YouTube. So I probably clean our machine monthly to the areas that you can see. So the laser tube, the crumb tray, the laser head, the mirrors. As far as the rest of the machine, I typically like to do a quarterly cleaning where I really take everything out, clean all the little gubbins everywhere in there, clean out the fans, clean out the filter that I've attached. But really, that is low priority. There are some areas of the machine that never get cleaned, and if you take a good look inside our machine, you'll see a solid layer of gunk on just parts inside of there, but they're not essential to the daily operation. But really anything that's moving or anything near the fan does get cleaned relatively frequently. If you're not cleaning your fans regularly, air won't flow the way it's supposed to, you'll build up smoke, and then you got an issue. So clean it every once in a while. Let's go on to question number 3. Which model is right for me? That's up to you. I get this question so frequently, and the only answer I really have is that it's up to you. I have a Glowforge Basic, and it's still working. Everything that I make on this channel, you see, I make with a Glowforge Basic. I want to kind of break down how Glowforge describes what each model is really meant for. The Glowforge Basic, according to them, is an introductory model, perfect for moderate home use. The Glowforge Plus is a great solution for people who want to print frequently and quickly. And the Pro is their most powerful and capable model, ideal for small businesses or when more than one person is going to be using it.
Well, those are Glowforge's descriptions. From our point of view, we've only ever had the Basic, and it's been very good. So it's hard for us to recommend more than that. You're just gonna have to make up your own decision on which one is the correct one for you if you're looking for it.
I think the way Glowforge breaks down the 3 different models is a very good way to try to figure out where you fit into this. I really do feel like I fall into the Basic category. If you're just going to be printing out art for yourself, kind of like I do, maybe just go with a Basic. When you're about to buy your machine, are you planning on using it to start a small business? If that's the case, maybe you don't get the basic. Maybe that's not the right machine for you. When we bought the machine in 2019, there was a much bigger gap between the costs of a basic and a plus. But in 2020, as it stands, the basic costs $2,995 and the plus costs $3,995. When you use a referral code on the plus, it actually brings the cost down to $3,745. That's only a $745 difference between the plus and the basic. When we bought our machine, the price difference, even with a referral code, was still about $1,500. It didn't make too much more sense for us to buy a plus at that time. If I was buying a Glowforge in 2021, I would probably just buy a plus. It's got 6 months more warranty than the basic does, and it does twice as fast prints. All that being said, after 2 years, our basic is still fine. I just think if I were to be buying one now, I probably would be getting a plus because the price is close enough at this point to get something that's faster. Okay, what question are we on? I think we're on 4? Yeah, question 4. Do I need the air filter? Again, this is completely dependent on your situation and how you plan on using your machine. Where's your machine going? I always find this question silly because it's like, I don't know what your house looks like. Do you got a window? Because if you got a window, you don't need an air filter. If you're putting it in a room in your house that has access to no window, then probably, yeah, you should get an air filter. If you don't have a window, get the air filter. If you have a window, don't bother with it. It's like $1,000. I will say that the inline fan with this machine is incredibly loud. The machine is so loud if you don't put on an external fan. There is a link in the description below to our cleaning video, which is also a video where we install an external fan. Since installing that, quality of life in the attic space has been so much more improved because this thing is quiet and it just shuts up and it just does its laser cutting. So if you're going to get one of these machines and you want to figure out something that you can use to upgrade it, don't waste your money on the air filter. Put your machine next to a window and put $100 into an inline fan like we did. Super worth it. Okay, finally, number 5. How's the software? If you watch our year 1 Glowforge video, you'll note that some of my biggest cons were with the software. That still applies today. The software is still completely web-based, but in the last year, they have added some tools to the software itself that have been very useful to me at least. They've added a new scaling tool that allows you to actually put in exact measurements, so you're not just dragging the corners. You can actually put in 10 inches and it will scale it to 10 inches for you. Another thing that Glowforge has added this year is the Glowforge Premium options. While you're in the Glowforge software, you can type your own text in there. You can drag and drop designs from their design library. You can also download really nice designs that they have available for premium users, but this is something that costs extra. This is not a free service. When you buy your machine, you do get a free trial of it, but it's not something that you get to maintain unless you want to pay a monthly fee. Glowforge's monthly fee for this, listed on their website, is $50 a month. The only reason I could see that I would ever want to purchase the monthly service is because of the fact that you would get access to what Glowforge refers to as the fast lane. And the fast lane basically means that if you have premium, you send your design through the web service from your computer to your machine, and Glowforge puts you in the front of the line for their data processing of your design.
The main issue I have with Glowforge Premium is the fast lane. That is really weird to me. If Glowforge is allocating more processing power to these new users from something that isn't going to detract from the non-premium users, I'm kind of okay with it. But if it comes down to, hey, we're gonna run this big file and we gotta have it chug for a bit, and it's taking twice as long as it used to before premium was a thing, then that's pretty skeezy. That has yet to happen. I don't know that it will, and for a process that I'm sure my computer could do locally very quickly anyways, it's already a little ridiculous.
I think the biggest benefit, honestly, of the entire Glowforge Premium offering is the fact that anything that's on Glowforge's premium service you can sell on Etsy. If there is a design that you really like, you have the ability to sell that. No issues, no questions asked. I think that is the biggest benefit of the software, is if you are quickly batching out products for Etsy and you want to have something that you don't have to spend 7 hours designing, the premium library is really solid. There's some really cool stuff in there. Those are the top 5 questions that we get the most. So I want to end this video by kind of explaining what's next for our machine, because there's kind of a lot. First and foremost, our machine is taking a trip. It's taking quite the trip, as well as everything else in this house, because we sold it. We are leaving this house in the Midwest and moving across the country. We have jobs that have provided us the flexibility to live anywhere in the United States. It just so happened to work out that we sold our house a lot quicker than we anticipated. So one big thing I recommend if you do buy a Glowforge is keep the box, because this thing has quite the box once you get it, and it is designed to be shipped across the country. So it's just going to be reboxed up and sent to our new apartment. After that, we're debating the idea of getting a Pro. We do really see the benefits of the pass-through slot, specifically with the large scale maps that I make, and right now I puzzle piece them all together because I'm trying to fit it in the bed area here. So we do see the benefit of that for the larger projects that I make, but in the meantime, our 2-year-old basic is a solid little machine. It's a solid big machine, and I just don't see a point to update it yet. So at the top of the video, I wanted to answer the question, do we still like our Glowforge 2 years in? And obviously the answer is yes. This machine has been the best thing that has happened in our crafting lives. It gives us so much flexibility to build and create such cool things that I could not do by hand alone before it. I am incredibly happy with the things that it produces, the way it performs, the ease of use of the thing. If you are somebody that just wants to do something creative, doesn't know necessarily how to use this machine, but thinks that it could really add something to your crafting abilities, give it a try if you have the ability to. I had no idea what I was doing. Now, here's some pictures of all the things that we've made before. We've made a lot of things that if you told me in 2018 I would be making over the next 2 years, I would think that's nuts.
So while I do have an issue with the cloud-based software side of things with the Glowforge, I really like the hardware. It has been pretty bulletproof for the whole 2 years we've had it.
You're not even editing it.
No, I'm playing Valheim.
So over the next couple months, be ready for 2 set changes. We are set to leave the attic very, very soon, and we'll be moving into an apartment where we will maybe be doing some smaller scale crafting, because all of my stuff will be in boxes. But then 6 months after that, we should have a house. Knock on every bit of wood everywhere around here. So I do ask for your patience as we pick up everything in this house, move it 1,000 miles away, and then wait 6 months just to do it again to our new permanent home, where we'll have a bunch of fun projects going on. So until then, thank you for watching. Hope this video was a little bit helpful, giving you a glimpse into a Glowforge 2 years after it was purchased, and knowing that it's still an investment I'm happy I made. And I guess see you guys next time, maybe from a different state. I don't know when I'll get another video out. Life is really hard right now. Okay, bye guys. Yeah, but
Where I was there.
In between. It's not like it's the one.
Sure.
My God, you orange fluff.
Is she just in it this whole time? Staring down the boar. She's gonna take the cake, but it's great. I kind of like it. I mean, is it too distracting?
Yes, she needs to move. She's now officially.
Where was she before?
You got another cat?
They're all over me.